You're listening to Independent TV 7. Nigerian Army Chief reveals the next people soldiers will go after and deal with amid concern. The Nigerian Army has risen from a very important security meeting and has identified the next set of people to go after and deal decisively with in the coming days. Recall that the EndSARS protest was hijacked by hoodlums and other thugs who not only injured and killed some of the protesters in the process, but went ahead to carry out other acts of lawlessness in many states across the country. The hoodlums continue unabated that many people live in fear of possible attacks. These die-hard hoodlums invaded police stations, killed some officers and carted away with weapons. Also, they attacked government and private properties, looting valuables and committing arson in the process. Many shopping malls like ShopRite and other businesses were looted and torched, thereby raising fears among them and many Nigerians over grossing insecurity and attacks. All these lawless acts escalated after armed soldiers on Tuesday, October 20, 2020, opened fire on peaceful protesters at Lekki Tollgate, killing some of the protesters and injuring many others. It is still unclear who ordered the soldiers to carry out the shootings, which led to the death of some of the peaceful protesters and left many injured. But Nigerians are still calling for investigation to ensure that justice is served. The shooting escalated tension, making many angry move to severe pain and injury and seize the opportunity to vent their anger and frustration. In the wake of the rising acts of lawlessness across various states in Nigeria, the Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, held a crucial meeting with the army hierarchy to find a way to combat the menace. After the meeting with principal staff officer, general officers commanding and field commanders and commandants officers which held in army headquarters Abuja, the chief of armed staff Buratai ordered them to go after and deal decisively with looters who have been invading and looting both public and private properties. Buratai specifically directed the officers and their men to ensure that they restore law and order immediately. Soldiers are very strict in terms of enforcing compliance and law with the order given to them. The looting, vandalism and attacks on police as well as prisons have continued since the protests, and these attacks are still being witnessed in some places. As it stands now, many private businesses have been affected as people lost their end means of livelihood and some even lost their lives in the process. Based on this order, expect military presence in some of the flashpoints and they will deal decisively with these looters and other hoodlums who usually empower and overpower their victims and have their way. Soldiers will clamp down on them and deal with them. Some of them may be arrested and handed over to the police for prosecution. On the other hand, the hardened ones may have serious battle with the soldiers who are ready to give it to them fire for fire. However, some of them that have ears can actually give up on their unlawful acts and maintain calm now that soldiers are stepping in to avoid facing their consequences. Law and order must be restored immediately as directed by the Chief of Armed Staff. What are your thoughts on this article? You may feel free to drop your comments and don't forget to click on the subscribe button so that you could get more news, and don't forget also to click the like buttons. Thank you for listening. You are listening to Independent TV 7.